अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So today is Canto 3, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chapter 8. Since I don't have access to Krishna Dharma's as Vrinda's song version, I'm referring to the Veda base. The chapter's name is titled Manifestation of Brahma from Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. So where it's been left off, that Mataji was saying is Maitreya Vidra is asking, he asked all these beautiful questions to Maitreya Muni. So this particular chapter, it starts the explanation to the questions that Mahatma Vidra is posed to Maitreya Muni. So text number 1 is saying, the great sage Maitreya Muni said to Vidura, the royal dynasty of King Puru is worthy to serve the pure devotee because all the descendants of that family are devoted to the personality of Godhead. You are also born in that family, and it is wonderful that because of your attempt, the transcendental pastimes of the Lord are becoming newer and newer at every moment. So this is my thoughts referring to how Srila Prabhupada was saying, as told before, that when we read the same Srimad Bhagavatam or even the Bhagavad Gita, which has just 700 verses, though each time when we read it, the realizations are always new, simply because the words, the pastimes, and Krishna himself, Krishna is the ever youthful little boy of Rajadam, right? So each time we are referring to the words that Krishna himself has spoken in Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, right? The realizations that we get is also going to be newer and newer. And especially this happens in the association of like-minded devotees. That's the reason why over here, Matrimony is saying that to Vidura, you are belonging in the lineage of King Puru, who was a great devotee of Krishna. So as such, even in you also have the same faith, love, trust, devotion to Krishna. Discussing these pastimes with you, Mahatma Vidura, is also giving, it's going to be the realizations and these beautiful pastimes of the Lord becomes newer and newer. I was just thinking about like how beautifully you're like a spring and then the fresh waters keep pouring. And then it's like when I think about fresh and think about fresh leaves, the fresh green leaves, it's out when the spring showers. And it's like every day you see the leaves are fresh and green. It's so beautiful to look at. And then after some days you suddenly see it's a bud and the bud opens, it becomes a beautiful rose flower. Like that, the more we keep hearing in the association of like-minded devotees of Krishna, these realizations will keep turning our heart to such an extent, just like
Shalini, I'm not sure if it's
our love also will blossom
I
too.
can't hear you.
Hare Krishna.
I think you need to, I don't know, be in closer to the microphone because some words I can't hear.
Okay, Mataji, now can you hear me? I am closer. I'm just speaking directly to
Yeah.
the phone.
Okay, it's better now.
Okay. So I was just saying, just like how when we keep hearing these pastimes of Krishna in the association of like-minded devotees, just like how the flower blossoms in the spring and showers, right? Like that, our love for Krishna, which is dormant in our heart, will also blossom. And the realizations that we keep getting will become more deeper and deeper. Moving on to text 2. Let me now begin speaking on the Bhagavad Purana, which was directly spoken to the great sages by the personality of Godhead for the benefit of those who are entangled in extreme miseries for the sake of very little pleasure. So here we are just trying to draw the squeeze out a little pleasure that we get in this material world. But then for that, the extreme amount of miseries that we need to endure just to experience that is like immense. So the solace or the antidote for these problems are hearing and speaking of the Bhagavad Purana. So your matrimony is saying, start speaking. This is the only way you can get benefit. This is a benefit for you and also benefit for all these Kalyoka souls who are entangled in these extreme miseries. Text 3. Some time ago, being inquisitive to know, Sanat Kumara, the chief of the boy saints, accompanied by other great sages, inquired exactly like you about the truths regarding Vasudeva, the Supreme, from Lord Sankarsana, who is seated at the bottom of the universe, and the cosmic, what is it? the planetary system, the Vedic cosmology, and that we can see in the three dimensional. There's a very beautiful video it shows, Lord Sankarshan is sitting in the bottommost layers, and then we have Sanat Kumara. They're all sitting along with some of the sages. They're all inquiring to Lord Sankarshan. Since these devotees have come, just like how Pradira posed amazing question, even Sanat Kumara also had the same kind of inquisitive mind. Those are devotees want to know about Krishna more and more. Like how Arjuna also says in the Gita, I want to know more and more about you, Krishna. Please explain how I can remember you. And then Krishna explains the opulences and how you can, normal Krishna souls can remember him. In the Virat Prabhu discussion, we said, I remember Mataji was like explaining how wonderfully when you look at the sky, you can think about the blue color and the moon, but you can think about, you can remember Krishna. The everything from now the other can remind us of Krishna, and it should. That's why the manifestation of this world is present, material world. So like that, here the parallel is being drawn to how the inquisitive nature of Vidura is the same as Sanat Kumara. He also had same similar question, and how we need to have the eagerness to ask questions and also hear from the qualified speaker. Srila Prabhupada used to say it's regarding, I think, it was his Holiness Jagata Maharaj. And then after every class, Jagata Maharaj has to always ask questions to Srila Prabhupada. So one day, I think it's incident with Maharaj himself, he narrated. One day he was busy, he was doing some service, and then after class, Srila Prabhupada said, where is Japataka Maharaj? I don't know how he's sitting Japataka. That's what Prabhupada used to ask to Maharaja. Because he has such intelligent questions like that. So, but the speaker also gets very enthused when the listener is actually paying attention and asking questions. Like what says, asking questions is a sign of intelligence, and also it also means that the person is able to process what's being explained. And then I heard some of the speakers saying, there are only two kind of people who will not ask questions. One is they understood everything, or the second is they understood everything. So it cannot be possible that we understand everything, right? So asking a question is really nice, and especially being inquisitive to understand about Krishna. Text 4. At that time, Lord Sankarsana was meditating upon his Supreme Lord, whom the learned esteem as Lord Vasudeva. But for the sake of the advancement of the grave learned sages, he slightly opened his lotus-like eyes and began to speak. So this is Lord Sankarsana, who is one of the expansions who comes from Krishna, and he was again, even though he is one of the quadruple expansions, he's still meditating on the original Supreme Lord Krishna. And just for the sake of giving the answer to the Sanat Kumara and to help them, he's opening his eyes and he began to speak. Like again, you can see how compassionate are these great souls. Gauritaj, and I think in Gopi Geet, right? And one of the verses that the gopis are saying, those souls who are always speaking about your Kata Krishna, they are the most beneficent, most compassionate souls. And we can see this compassion actually goes back to even, I can trace it back to all these sages, Sukadeva Goswami or Sanat, Sutta Goswami, who are like explaining it for all the sages. And here we can see it even in Lord Sankarsana himself, even though he's doing meditation, instead of being like Bhajananandi, just doing their own self bhajana, they are like Goshtanandis, that means they are preaching. They have that spirit to speak about the Lord. Of course, it brings them bliss, but at the same time, how much of compassion it takes to explain and speak all the realizations that they have in their heart. Text 5. The sages came from the highest planets down to the lower region through the waters of the Ganges, and therefore the hair on their heads was wet. They touched the lotus feet of the Lord, which are worshipped with various paraphernalia by the daughters of the Serpent King when they desire good husbands. This was like a very beautiful verse. I actually went and saw the purport. The purport is also beautiful, like how like how we do transportation. We travel from one place to the other, either via air, or boat, or what is it, by the road, right? Those sages who are like extremely qualified, right? They used to use the river Ganges the holy rivers, they used to just take a dip in Varanasi, and then from Prayagraj they'll just get up from the waters. Prabhupada used to say this story many times. But this is actually whatever Prabhupada said, it's there in the Bhagavatam also. And I was like amazed to find this purport. I'll just read the purport because it's very, very interesting. And then with this, I think we can end after the purport because it's 8 purport for this particular verses. The Ganges water flows directly from the lotus feet of Vishnu, and his course runs from the highest planet of the universe down to the lowest. The sages came down from Satyaloka by taking advantage of the flowing water, a process of transportation made possible by the power of mystic yoga. If a river flows thousands and thousands of miles, a perfect yogi can at once transport himself from one place to another simply by dipping in its waters. The Ganges is the only celestial river which flows throughout the universe, and great sages travel all over the universe via this sacred river. The statement that their hair was wet indicate that it was directly moistened by the water originating from the lotus feet of Vishnu, the Ganges. Whoever touches the water of the Ganges to his head surely touches the lotus feet of the Lord directly and can become free from all effects of sinful acts. If after taking a bath in the Ganges or being washed of all sins, a man guards himself against committing further sinful acts, then certainly he is delivered. But if he again takes up sinful activities, his bath in the Ganges is as good as that of an elephant who nicely takes a bath in the river, but later spoils the whole thing by covering himself with dust on the land. So this is very beautiful. Like how these sages, because of that mystic power, they were able to dip and then use Ganges as a means of transportation, like how we are using the air and the road, right? They were just able to dip and do, they had that mystic power. Because of that yogic power, they could just transport from one. So all these sages from the upper planetary system, using Ganges, they were coming down to the lower place where Lord Sankarsana was seated, and then Sanat Kumara is asking. So along with Sanat Kumara, within the other sages were very powerful. They were also sitting and listening to this discourse that was happening between Sanat Kumara and Lord Sankarshan. That's there. And just and also the glories of how Mother Ganges, just by taking her dip, all the sins are gone. But yet many people, like let's say for example myself, I've visited some of the holy dams. I take a dip and it's so purifying. Yet again I come back and then I see myself again, being conditioned, going back to the old habits. That's very hard to break for that. We need so much of mercy and so much of purification. But it's just like taking bath, the elephant taking a bath and coming out and getting itself really dusty and muddy. So this particular verse, I think I feel like meditating more each time I get a chance to see the Ganges or the Yamuna River. I take it up. I want to remember being more, getting more, resolving in my mind that I should not go back to these silly conditioned habits that I have. Of course, the mind will drag them, the natural conditioned state will come again, but still just resolving the mind, having that kind of a resolution and having that intention, I think it'll prevent for a long time. Of course, along with the mercy of Guru and Gauranga, only then it'll really be possible. But then it has the potency. These holy rivers do have so much of potency to clear us of all the sins. But at the same time, right, I'm just thinking, just like how we discussed, sattva is not the goal, like clearing of all our sinful reactions. That's not the goal, because by just bhakti, all of this can be uprooted. Sinful reactions can just be uprooted like this by, devotion to Krishna. So our goal should not just be at, okay, I'll take a dip, let all my sins go. Beyond that, it should be like, I'm doing this to please Krishna. Because devotion to Krishna ultimately is what the Lord wants, and it's something which the soul also hankers for. So with this, I think we can end. Unless Madhuri, you have anything to add to this, your realization, your thoughts, whatever.
Thank you, Taruni. That was so great, emphasizing the importance of Sangha and emphasizing. I like the last point about the elephant bath, that nature can come back, but those 2 points were relevant. What you said in the beginning, that if we are in the right association, then that will become our second nature to desire the right things. And I'm seeing that in this yatra also, that those people who associate with devotees with strong habits, strong devotional habits, they take on to it, and that's the way it works. It's like
Yeah.
natural quality is that of devotion. Actually, thank you. I loved it.
Thank you so much, Mataji, for giving me the opportunity and for kind words. I don't know, I just tried.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, sure, Mataji. So tomorrow also we can continue then, right?
Thank you.
Sure,
Yes.
Mataji. Have a wonderful yatra. Hare Krishna.